I do have a question that I'm facing right now. If you collect a credit card and you fail to pay it back, what will happen if you fail to pay due to loss of job? What will happen? Well, okay, so you have a credit card and you presumably drew some money off the credit card and now you don't have a job to pay it off. So these days, nothing immediate will happen immediately, that is. In the past, most credit cards, and perhaps even today, would be secured or guaranteed with a post-dated check. And so whenever the person would stop paying the credit card, then the banks always had the tool of being able of taking that check to the authority, to the bank. It would bounce, and then with the bounce check, they would go to the authorities, and then there's the criminal case would be filed, and then basically the person would kind of have to scramble and find cash as not to go to jail. That's how it used to be. It's no longer like that, and that's precise. It's primarily because bounce checks are no longer criminal, so the banks won't exercise that kind of remedy. But what the banks can do if they have this check is they can file what's called an order and petition, a payment order, which is an expedited request to the court for the amount of money basically that's sort of outstanding. So that's the ultimate recourse that the banks can do if they have a check from you as a security against the credit card. But what I've just described to you is a process, right? That's why I answered the question kind of early on, saying nothing will immediately happen. It's not that in the past it would have, but not now. So ultimately, the bank, if the bank wanted to do something, they could do something either with a check. If they don't have a check, is to file a civil case and pursue you for the non-payment of your credit card through the courts. And then as part of the courts, there's also a process to challenge the decision, and then there's the appeal and so on and so forth, so it takes some time. From the perspective of the timing, you have some time. That being said, your best shot would be to just approach the bank and try to negotiate some sort of a settlement or some kind of protracted payment plan, because otherwise it's, so at least they can manage their expectations. These days, the banks are more reasonable than before. But otherwise, in terms of, can you just tell them, I'm sorry, I don't have money, and walk away? You know, that's not what you should expect, because that will not happen. To my knowledge, you know, in some countries, there's this sort of credit cards have this insurance against unemployment. They will cover the sort of unemployment for a while, and perhaps maybe worthwhile for you if you actually have a credit card. Check the terms and conditions. There may be a provision there that you may be able to benefit.